Hello Internet, my name is Swan, and this video is my attempt at a hardcore nuzlocke using my personal additional rules, which I dubbed as the Nerflocke. Rules will be posted in the description below, but they are as follows. The standard nuzlocke rules are, you can only encounter one Pokemon per route. If they faint, they die, and all Pokemon need to be nicknamed. The hardcore nuzlocke rules are, no overleveling past the next gym leader's ace Pokemon, no items in battle except hell items and pokeballs, and my Nerflocke rule is to use the moveset that reflects the worst stat on a Pokemon. For example, Alakazam would use physical moves, and Machamp would use special moves. I have tested this out to see if it can be completed, so this is not my actual first attempt. My trial run for testing purposes was not recorded, but I was live on Twitch with some of my testing. If you want to get some behind the scenes information, you are always welcome to come watch me fail again and again with this needlessly tedious challenge on top of the challenge. This script does come from after my testing, but before I have started the run that you are watching now. I did use the universal Pokemon randomizer to allow for trait evolutions, as the available encounters will better portray their negative potentials if fully evolved, as I would rather make my suffering easier with a Gengar or Golem versus Haunter or Graveler. For this challenge, as with all my others, I let my trainer ID decide my starter, which in similar fashion to a standard vanilla playthrough, the starters basically give you easy, medium, and hard mode depending on your selection. With that said, let's get started. As there are thousands of other Pokemon nuzlockes that I myself watch in my free time, I do not want to waste your time as I may have done in one of my previous videos with this challenge. So I would like to present this in the best way that I can so we get to the good parts, which I understand you all would rather see over me grinding out EVs on early route Pokemon. For those who may or may not be aware of the EV system in Generation 3 games and onward, and to keep it simple because I am not an expert, every Pokemon gives at least one EV in a designated stat, and you can occur 252 into separate stats. Give or take a few because you are allotted somewhere around 510 points. I know that there is some change after the 252 is distributed where you want them to be, for the two stats you are focusing on, with the specific Pokemon you're training up. I wanted to bring up the EVs as with my research and with my previous testing, the early game is more geared to create physical attackers that can hit fairly quick. So any special attacker that I may need to use will suffer due to this, as the first Pokemon location that gives special attack EVs is past the Nugget Bridge. If I by chance have confused anyone, please feel free to say something in the comments below and let the algorithm indulge in its fare. With our starter Zuko the Charmander in hand, we make our way through the early routes to obtain Burb the Pidgey, Vicky the Rattata, Xiao the Mankey, and get super lucky in the forest to snag a Pikachu in the first ball. Let's go! It took a few minutes to get everyone to level 9 so they could possibly be useful, as Sokka portrays his motor-driven pride and Solo's rival to on Route 22. I am sure Pikachu will be a viable member of this team for the rest of the run. Without any issues traversing through the forest, we train the team up to necessary levels for Brock. The plan for Brock is simple. Use Growl and Sand Attack 6 times each from Sokka and Burb to let Zuko come out and safely slice down the little rock with Metal Claw. Now, just to repeat the process with Onyx. I did want Sokka out to finish off the Geodude, but Zuko did too much damage, and I'm sure swapping out to Sokka will face no repercussions. To possibly bait out a Rock Tomb, I send out Xiao, but Onyx only goes for a tackle, which gets a crit. Xiao then lands a Leer in hopes that Onyx will restore its defense with Harden so Sokka can safely come out to start with its growls, which he is able to get 3 off while avoiding Rock Tombs, until the third comes out to do minimal damage. On the fourth growl, Onix outspeeds and lands a bind. Little did I know that Sokka would literally be in a bind in just a moment. As on the last turn I needed for growl with Sokka, Onix lands a critical hit tackle, taking Sokka down to 1 HP, allowing Bind to squeeze the life out of him. What the absolute fuck just happened? That's 2 critical hits from this damn rock snake to cause me issues. Thank you, Sokka, for being a valuable member this early on. You will not be forgotten. Burb comes out to do his job, which is to just throw sand, but Onix lands another crit. RNG my ass, this is rigged. At least Burb was able to stay long enough to finish its job just in time for Bind to end, allowing Zuko to come out and sharpen its claws on this boulder. But of course, Onix not only hits Zuko with a tackle through -6 accuracy, but also gets another goddamn crit. Fuck you, Onix. Zuko, how could you possibly miss that metal claw? Don't do this to me. Kill this thing. Do it for Sokka. Trading 3 tackles and metal claws, Zuko strikes down Onix for his fallen brother. Thank God that is over. How many crits was that? 5? With the boulder badge in hand, we progress through Route 3 where Zuko evolves, but we skip the encounter here for now as I would like some dupes to guarantee a better Pokemon. We also forego the $500 magic card before Mount Moon. We can get one at any time for free. We do repel our way down to the lowest floor of Mount Moon to repel trick for one of 2 good encounters, and we end up getting Paris, which may actually get to see some usage. Welcome to the team, Iroh. Making our way through Mount Moon, there are only 2 major battles to take note of, the Rocket and the Nerd, at the end of the passage of the mountain. Normally, the Rocket is easy with his Rattata and Zubat, but his Rat got some good hits in and nearly took out half the team before Zuko came out and gave him the business. Vicky could not take the pounding from the Nerd's gunk monster to the point that Burb had to tag in to finish it off. As Voltorb came out, Iroh sought the chance to poison the foe, but was called out for his play, and the poisoning had no effect on Coughing. Burb came back out to whittle away Coughing's HP, while getting poisoned in the process, holding on strong with 7 HP for Zuko to come out and demolish the Voltorb, allowing us to make our way outside the mountain. These trainers normally are not troublesome for a standard playthrough, but even the lowest rank enemies can cause major delay in progress for this challenge. On our way, I decided to pick up the Helix fossil. I knew if I didn't say what I grabbed, you would all ask. Better yet, ask anyways. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Outside of Cerulean City, we snag a Spearow, who dies in training anyways. Not like he would have been helpful, but at least dupes claws for other encounters. With the level cap for Misty being 21, I figured training up to the rival first would be easier so levels can be obtained through Nugget Bridge, and also grant me some new encounters, and allowing for our own Burb to evolve. Added power to what limited moves it can use is useful. Teaching Zuko Mega Punch and Kick before the rival fight may have been ill-advised, but having the extra power allows for Zuko to advent Pidgeotto's attacks, allowing Squirtle to come out next, just for Iroh to launch a total of 7 Bullet Seeds against the Squirtle, forfeiting its withdrawal. Iroh sees no such victory in surrender, only domination. But then I misplay on the Abra, wasting a turn, poisoning myself due to Synchronize. But Vicky comes out for the easy kill, and EVs. Going into an honor battle did not feel safe enough for me from the tail whips, so she tagged out for Burb for the kill. From here, the next few story beats from the bridge, the encounters, and Misty herself are not all that much to talk about. No major issues with the bridge or surrounding trainers. We snagged the standard bugs in the process, neither of which are really useful. We grabbed Dig from the Rocket Grunt, the level cap allowed for Vicky to evolve, and we snagged Belle the Oddish for added type coverage. Iroh soloed Misty with Bullet Seed, only being brought to yellow health in the process, so easy gym badge for us. For our next encounters, we grabbed Magikarp from outside the SSN, Diglett from its tunnel, Drowsy and Meowth respectively from routes 13 and 6. But not everyone survived the training needed to get up to Lieutenant Surge while getting Magikarp to evolve into Gyarados. The rival fight on the SSN, although is a major event, was not much to write home about, with the help of Gyarados drowning Pidgeotto and Raticate, and gnawing on Kadabra's spoon, making its psychic attack useless. All for Iroh to come out and prove to Wartortle it did not know the true meaning of shellacking through critical endurance. There seems to be a running theme in the last few major battles that is possibly causing my challenge to seemingly be effortless, but I do not deny. In between these cuts that you are watching, I am grinding on every single appropriate EV for every Pokemon as best as I could, so every outcome had the opportune chance to exceed my expectations. Which, as you see here with Lieutenant Surge, once again, is occurring. Zuko ravishes his way through both a Voltorb and Pikachu with just one dig each, leaving Surge's ace Raichu, who put up a mild fight with going for double team and dancing its way around Zuko's volley, only to have Iroh come out for the assist with poisoning Raichu, and then transferring the charge over to Belle, who eroded away Raichu's chances of survival. With badge number 3 in hand, we run around the map gathering some encounters prior to the Pokemon Tower rival fight, including Nidoran Male from Route 3, who swiftly found his way onto the team upon maturity. No other encounters are worth mentioning other than Voltorb with soundproof, as it may help with getting an encounter after a rock tunnel. Before going to obtain further units to build up my regiment of Pokemon to undergo this trial, we need to pay respects to our rival in the tower, who was feeling blue. He could not present the proper energy of his counterpart to what unfolded within. Satoshi's energy frightened Pidgeotto, allowing a Reptar to come out only to jolt the bird away, rounding in Execute, who handled the shockwave nicely, although Saber has been dabbling in the dark arts just for this occasion and has scrambled the eggs with its Thurigy. Kadabra came out next to exact revenge, however was not smart enough to see Satoshi's confusing strategy by having Iroh and him swap out to disengage from Kadabra's attempted ailments, allowing Satoshi to finish off Hunter's entire team in a fit of rage. Out of respect for the beatdown Hunter just faced, we saved our recruitment from the tower for a later time and proceeded to obtain who has been foretold for this journey within the books of old. Growlithe and Dratini will henceforth be the officers of this escapade. Through our training, we ambushed the Mafia in the Gambler's Court and to present the power hiding underneath our little mushroom Iroh, as he not only lays waste to Giovanni's entry, but allows for Zuko to eventually come in and knock down the Khan, with the assist of Reptar, of course. With the Sylph Scope in hand, we are granted access to the highest level of the tower, where our encounter awaits us. After Iroh Spore combos the Marowak Ghost, unfortunately, Haunter curses itself once too many and refuses the draft, much like today's generation. But not only did we lose out on this encounter, Vicky sacrificed herself to save the team, as I was ill prepared for the rockets guarding Mr. Fuji. Fuji's gift allowed for a massive undertaking where Snorlax was resting well next to Celadon City for our recruitment, but did not accept without a fight, knocking Saber down for the count and nearly ending itself in the process as it took to struggling before succumbing to enlistment. Ace looked at the grass gym leader with a radiating heat, knowing with what he was about to do, it would cause a wildfire. Ace proceeded to modestly show his power to Zuko and what it means to have the will of fire. As the earth was scorched by Ace, Zuko swooped in for the final blow on Vileplume, winning us the 4th badge. Before we can proceed with the gym challenge, we are tasked with investigating the Sylph Company building, and during our scouring, we get some well-awaited evolutions for Ace and Belle. We did reel in some newcomers from around the region, but most of them were timid and were not fully up for the fight, but we're proud to be of service if needed. Hunter returned to face us at Sylphco, headstrong, after the embarrassment from the tower fight. Reptar once again shows Hunter it does not matter whether the chicken or the egg came first, the dinosaur consumes anything resembling food. Allowing for his mushy friend Iroh to spook the Alakazam, as even with high IQ, it could not see the coming onslaught from Zuko soaring down upon it. Zuko was then met with his friend from long ago, but he had to accept that this fight with Blastoise needed to be won by another. Thor comes in to wash over Blastoise with repose, allowing Iroh to once again come out for the kill, but knowing this was not his Waterloo. After witnessing Hunter's defeat, a kind company man of Sylph gifted us a Lapras. Welcome, Nessie. You will be most viable. With Giovanni holding the Sylph Company president hostage, it was only right to put him in his place for the second time. Thor brought down Nidorino with 2 psychics. Nidoqueen proved herself a challenge for Thor, Iroh, and Belle, but the 3 of them brought the queen down. Belle absorbs as much of a punch she can endure from Kangaskhan for Iroh to come out and sponge up a mega punch as well, allowing him to put Khan to sleep. Zuko flies in to beat Khan down, leaving Giovanni with his Rhydon, who was stomped by Reptar. With Giovanni's mafia schemes put to rest, he hides for now, allowing us to finalize the gym badge challenge. Along the way, we do get some unmotivated recruitments, but our main team is looking steady and should not be scheduled for exchanges anytime soon. Koga offered his gym first, and we happily obliged. Iroh wanted to attempt his signature sleep strategy, which would have allowed Thor to easily dismantle Koga's team, but Coughing woke up early and became the wretch that was thrown into Iroh's plan. But not Thor's, as Psychic shattered Coughing, allowing Muck to come out. Muck grew to be troublesome for Thor as Reptar frosted over the field to solidify Muck and burn through the remaining coughing and wheezing. I do need to interrupt myself with this attempt of storytelling. I lost the footage for Sabrina. I will attempt to put something on screen here to show what happened. Please don't be upset if it's just MS Paint and some JPEGs. With Sabrina's gym open, our more physical-centered members knew it was their time to shine. Nessie leads us against Sabrina, skidding across the pavement, slamming Kadabra down. Mr. Mime is next, so Iroh knows to put it to sleep, allowing Zuko to plunge into the clown with ease, then swept Venomoth out of the sky with an airstrike, leaving just Sabrina's Alakazam. Unfortunately, Zuko misses his mark on Alakazam and allowed for her to set up with Calm Mind. Thor came out on a tough Psychic getting Yawn off, where Zuko thought it could come back out to dodge Future Sight, but the Pokemon with over 9,000 IQ went for power and correct timing this turn, and Zuko was shot down for it. Rest in peace, my boy. You deserve it. With the turmoil of losing my starter this late into the challenge, I nearly wiped when I misclicked with Nessie, who amazingly takes the Psychic herself. But I was not the only trainer to misplay in this battle, as Serena goes for Future Sight instead, creating an opening for Nessie, hitting Alakazam for one last body slam, and the win. We may have the 6th badge in hand, but now I have a hole in my heart. No new encounters to really worry about. We did reorder the team after this severe loss, as Zuko was meant to take on Blaine effectively. Speaking of, pretty much a cakewalk with Blaine. Thor surfed over the first 3 members of his team while taking a good chunk of damage due to him being slow. Unfortunately, I did miscount Fire Blast and brought Pearl out on the wrong time, losing someone who could have been a good crit shield. Rest warmly, Pearl. Reptar came out to aid Ace after his attempted honor battle that resulted in netting us the win by the skin of our teeth. For the final gym leader of the Kanto region, Giovanni, leader of Team Rocket, the ground-type gym, we have Iroh with Bullet Seed and Giga Drain. Good luck, Giovanni. You're gonna need it. Iroh knows exactly what to do with his newfound move, Growth. He spores the first Rhyhorn and grows to 3 times his size to shoot down both Rhyhorns, then comes out Nidoqueen. Iroh knew his attacks wouldn't kill, so Thor came out, and after a few turns, the queen was overthrown. Shortly followed was the king. Even with the king mildly putting up more of a fight than the queen. Lastly was Dugtrio, who sliced Iroh really hard, but was taken back twofold with Giga Drain, winning us the 8th gym badge, allowing us access to the Indigo Plateau. After ensuring our team members were picked out and ready to traverse through Victory Road, Hunter came at us once more. Will he ever learn? Reptar electrocutes the Pidgeot with ease. Iroh spores Alakazam for Ace to come out and burn it down to a snack. Thor gets brought out on Rhyhorn to wash its cares away, as well as Hunter's Growlithe. Ace returns to make an omelet, and Iroh finishes off Blastoise for the 6th time this run. I do want to take a moment here and just relay that this project has been in progress for quite some time. And to anyone who is watching, listening, and enjoying, thank you for staying so long. Now, for the finale of this challenge, the Elite Four and the champion. With our team all raised to the level cap of 60, the same as Lance's Dragonite, we are finishing strong with Claire the Dragonite, Ace the Arcanine, Thor the Snorlax, Iroh the Parasect, Nessie the Lapras, and Reptar the Nidoking. Now, no saving, no turning back. Let's do this. First up is Lorelei, the Ice-type Master. Claire wanted to test her might against her weakness, and shocks us all with critting Dugong. Then getting a one-shot on Slowbro, but allowed for Ace to chime in with Jinx. Ace greatly tanks an Ice Punch, but gets frozen and gets attracted. Swapping to Nessie, who proceeds to get kissed to sleep, and after a long nap, slams into Jinx, who puts Nessie back to sleep. But Nessie wakes up earlier this time and slams Jinx down. Cloyster comes out, so Iroh wants to take a turn at testing its defenses as Cloyster sets up spikes and hail, but Giga Drain takes down the clan. Then, through the power of teamwork, Thor gets Lapras asleep. Nessie comes out on a surf, healing back up, and the two of them go back and forth with body slams, and Lorelei using her healing items. Nessie eventually ends up on top, and the Paravision combo gets the best of Lorelei. For Bruno, there's not much to say about Bruno. It basically was Iroh Giga Drain Sweep with Thor interrupting the process. Agatha, well, Thor wanted to use its typing and ability to its advantage. But the first Gengar proved to be problematic with using Double Team, as it could not damage Thor in any way other than confusion. But Thor worked its way through the first ghost. Golbat came out, but was sniped down and drowned. Arbok brought Thor to the red, so Reptar came out to burn the snake. Haunter comes out, but kills itself through cursing. And the last Gengar came out, and Claire wanted a turn before showing up the Dragon Tamer, and took down Gengar with 2 outrages. 2 more battles to go. Lance, the Dragon-type trainer. Reptar requested to go first here, demolishing Gyarados with a Thunderbolt. Lance brings in Aerodactyl next. Ice Beam puts it into red health, so Lance heals up. Reptar sets up Focus Energy on the healing turn, and then Ice Beam crits the Aerodactyl. Then one-shots all the other dragons. Sorry, Claire, maybe the champion will have more for you to do? This is the last battle of the run. Can I finish this? Or was this all for naught? Claire needs to get more than a Gengar kill under her wings. But this time, she is the lead into the champion's Pidgeot. The bird hits first, but only lightly, and Thunderbolt put Pidgeot into the red. And paralyzed. Nice. I didn't predict the swap out to Rhydon, so Thunderbolt was useless here. I was not thinking and sent out Iroh on a Rock Tomb. After his work with Bruno, I'm sure he needs to rest still. So I bring Thor out on a takedown and Earthquake, putting him into the yellow, but he strikes back with a Surf, taking Rhydon down. Pidgeot comes back out. So Ace wanted his turn with the bird, then proceeds to make some KFC. But the smell of fried chicken brings out Blastoise, so the best move I have is to let Claire use Thunderbolt, and she gets a crit out the gate, yes! But with Claire in yellow health and Alakazam out, I needed a safe switch. Claire knew that her time had come, so she agreed to be the sacrifice at this pivotal moment. If only Iroh didn't come out earlier on Rhydon. We safely swap into Ace, who puts Alakazam into healing range and takes boosted Psychic like a champ, and allowing for Hunter to burn through all of his health potions, finishing off the Alakazam for good, and the Executor, leaving Hunter's last Pokemon, his own Arcanine. Ace trades places with Nessie. As Hunter's dog makes his speed go to the extreme, Nessie unleashes a spout of water directly into Arcanine's snoot, washing it away, winning us the battle and the run. Man, what an outcome. I never would have thought that I actually made it here. This is, I think the second time I actually won this challenge I put for myself. Oh, this was such a long time. Thank you all, for whoever is here at the end with me. Thank you so much for sticking through. I cannot thank everyone enough who is sitting here watching. If this challenge was a little bit weird, I can't really say a whole lot. This is just something I wanted to kind of do. There are more videos to come, and just bear with me. YouTube is not my full-time thing. Videos come out as I'm able to. Time and schedule is a huge factor, but I will hint towards this was the last video that I'm doing for Generation 3 for quite some time. Next time, with the Nerflocke challenge, starts Generation 4. That's going to be a lot more interesting with how I have to build the movesets. If you're willing to wait with me here, I'll get it out as soon as I can. Thank you all one more time so very much for watching. And please, have a wonderful, wonderful year. And please, be excellent to one another.